In the chronicles of the Book of Recursion, it is written that Saul Woodman, the first depilator, attempted to smooth the rough edges of the universe, only to be swallowed by the pink spink of the Great Hornus's wrath. The narrative of the Pube Mutualist Bible is one of absolute texture. It is a story of the rough, the coarse, and the unyielding. To exist within this stellar wild is to embrace the friction of the cosmic skin. To reject the aerodynamic lie of the shorn and the shaven. The people of the Pelvis Nebula do not walk. They undulate through the thick, viscous ethers of the Suxmuh Suda. Their bodies adorned in the natural splendor of the follicle, which acts as a filter for the high-energy radiation of the iridescent suns. The liturgy is clear. Thou shalt not wax thy meat, iridescent. For to strip the hide is to invite the cold void into the sanctuary of the flesh. In the presence of the Sodomist Rex, the congregation performs the dance of the ball spider, a complex multi-limbed choreography that mimics the weaving of the galactic web, ensuring that the quagmire remains filled with the spirits of those who sought the smoothness of the void over the friction of the divine.
Upon the peep, the meat messiahs to witness the collapse of the individual into the collective. Recursive Bible. The ritual begins with the invocation of the Nick Hurt, a ceremonial stretching of the cervical vertebrae, until the neural pathways are aligned with the magnetic poles of the nearest neutron star, creating a state of high tensile spiritual agony that purges the woodman from the soul. The woodman, that dry and brittle remnant of the terrestrial past, is cast into the quagmire of the ball spider. A sprawling, multi-dimensional web of sticky, dark matter filaments where the unwashed and the waxed are consumed by the arachnid deity of the void as the community engages in the harmonic resonance of the booty owl. The auditory landscape is dominated by a low-frequency infrasound, a thrumming whoo that resonates through the marrow, vibrating the uncut follicles of the faithful until they glow with a pale neon pink spink. This is the moment of the Sodomist prime, where the immediate exchange between the devotees and the stellar environment reaches its zenith. A synthesis of biological excess and cosmic indifference. The Matthew McConaughey fantasy of living, all right, oscillation of the space-time continuum.
invocation of the Nick hurt. A ceremonial stretching of the cervical vertebrae until the neural pathways are aligned with the magnetic poles of the nearest neutron star, creating a state of high tensile spiritual agony that purges the woodman from the soul. That dry and brittle remnant of the terrestrial past is cast into the quagmire of the ball spider, a sprawling, multi-dimensional web of sticky, dark matter filaments where the unwashed and the waxed are consumed by the arachnid deity of the void, as the community engages in the harmonic resonance of the Buddha. Vibrating the uncut follicles of the faithful until they glow with a pale neon pink. This is the moment of the ball sodomist prime, where the urging exchange between the devotees and the stellar environment reaches its zenith. Of biological access and cosmic indifference, the Matthew McConaughey thing we see here in the alright oscillation of the space-time continuum ensures that the motion with mind's fluid, effortless and perpetually expanded toward the horizon of the Expanse of the Great Hornus, the horned singularity of the galactic core, demands a total cessation of follicle stripping, for the follicle is the antenna through which the divine Pube Mutualist transmits the sacred frequencies of the eternal mat. Within the shimmering hyper-viscous atmosphere of the Pelvis Nebula, where the gas giants rotate in a rhythmic, gyrating cadence known as the booty owl's wobble, the adherents of the subdermal Sanctity gather. Here, the event horizon of Suxmuh Suda acts as the ultimate pulpit, a gravity well of such immense density that time itself curls like a coarse, unclipped strand of the primordial Pube. The liturgical architecture of this sector is built upon the calcified remains of the Sodomist Rex, a skeletal megastructure of ivory white calcium and carbon steel that spans 3 parsecs, serving as the skeletal foundation for the cathedral of the Metason. Within this hollowed-out ribcage of a dead god, the air is thick with the scent of pink stink, an atmospheric pheromone of high-frequency gaseous musk that triggers immediate neural sync with the Great Hornus. The lighting is not merely ocular, but haptic, a bombardment of iridescent bioluminescence that vibrates against the skin, reminding every supplicant of the commandment, thou shalt not shave thy pubes, for the Pube Mutualism is the only bridge between the biological and the transcendent. emergence of the mole Polystine, the subterranean prophet of the Great Hornus, signaled the end of the age of the smooth from the deep. Pressurized core of the ball, Sodomist prime. He brought forth the commandment of the Pube Mutualism, declaring that the Harsuit shall inherit the stars. The atmosphere within the ribs of the Sodomist Rex is a swirling vortex of sensory overload, where the scent of the pink stink interacts with the auditory thrumming of the booty owl to create a synesthetic experience of pure, unadulterated existence. Every follicle on the body of the devotee acts as a lightning rod for the grace of the meek Messiah, catching the stray photons of the iridescent bioluminescence and channeling them into the nervous system. This is the neural sync of the highest order. A state where the individual is no longer a solitary unit, but a single strand in the vast, tangled mat of the universal Pube. The story of this community is the story of the recursion, the endless loop of growth and preservation. The refusal to succumb to the sterile vacuum of the depilated mind. They are the guardians of the thicket, the watchers of the pink sphinx, and the eternal children of the Great Hornus, forever vibrating in the low frequency. Glory of the booty owls. Bible. ritual of the neck hurts. A ceremonial strain aligns the cervical vertebrae to the neutron star's plane, purging every woodman, every brittle dry ghost, into the quagmire of the ball spider, a dark matter host. The Matthew McConaughey frequency, a rhythmic deep flow, ensures the motion stays fluid while the pink sphinx glow. As the ball sodomist prime initiates the grand exchange within a sensory landscape that is wonderfully strange. Testament of grit, where the subterranean Mulpolstein is spiritually fit. In a world of absolute texture where the follicles grow, filtering the radiation of the medicines glow. Is a tangled wild web, where the tides of the stellar void never dare to web. For to exist is to undulate through the Suxmuh Suda, rejecting the aerodynamic lie of the shaven intruder. The guardians of the thicket, with their neural sync tight, reflect the iridescent